Hello everyone, welcome back to ErikaBuilds and another Sims 4 speed build. Today we are in the world of San Myshuno working on an apartment build in Hakim House, which is in the Arts Quarter neighborhood. And this is the second apartment in this building. The first one I did quite a number of months ago. I think it was back in the fall. I did an autumn family apartment, and then I still had this side that I wanted to come back to. I kind of forgot about it. I've been skipping around on this journey through wanting to do at least every apartment one time for the channel. So so far we have completed all 4 apartments at Culpeper House. We have done both apartments at Jasmine Suites. We have done all 3 apartments at Chic Street. Then I have, this is now finishing up Hakim House. And let's see, I've also done Spire, that 3-story penthouse in Spire Apartments. And then I did one of the apartments at Alto. So I think this is lucky number 13 off of the list. And eventually I would like to have all of the apartments up on the channel. That way we have at least one design for every apartment that is in San Myshuno. So it's a big project, but it's fun to work on, and it gives me a chance to go back to some of the buildings that I don't build in regularly. I have a tendency to do a lot in the Culpeper House just because I really like that building. And so I don't typically use these apartments over here in the Arts Quarter as often when I'm doing interiors. So anyway, you may have noticed that this apartment is being done with an industrial type of design, and these cabinets are from Base Game, so you're probably very familiar with them. They really work perfectly for industrial. They have this nice butcher block countertop, and then the drawers are all metal, so, with industrial type shelving, and it's just really perfect for any type of industrial build. And I went with the exposed brick walls in here for the main sort of center living space of the apartment, which I also thought gave it a nice industrial look. So if you don't have a ton of packs, this actually would be a pretty good apartment to download, just because I have used a lot of Base Game and City Living, obviously, for this particular design. So these appliances, I played around with a lot of different stoves. I was having a really hard time making up my mind which kind of stove that I wanted to use. I wish we had just like a regular sort of stainless steel, kind of like a chef's type stove, but we don't really have one like that in the game. So I ended up going with this flat top range from Cool Kitchen Stuff, just because I thought the black looked nice with these cabinets. And then the kitchen is separated from the living room by a bar. So this is all kind of one big main shared living space. And out here in the living room, I also used tons of Base Game stuff because I wanted to use all of this industrial furniture that has a lot of metal, and it has a lot of like cross beams and stuff that just looks very industrial. And so these bookcases and this table underneath the TV are all Base Game, as well as the couches and the coffee table and end tables. So yeah, lots of Base Game stuff here in this living area. And for the colors, I'm mostly sticking with black and brown and sort of different shades of metal with like gray, light gray and dark gray. So it has sort of a darker, richer sort of tone. And I've mixed in a lot of gray and black in the decor with like the rugs and things. Of course, the brick, exposed brick does give it sort of a reddish, warm reddish feel in here too. So the lights over the bar are very industrial, I think, as well. And yeah, so are the bar stools. So if you like industrial builds, you're in luck with this one. Just there kind of on the left side of the screen, you'll see where I walled off a little like entryway hallway separate from the door. Just because I wanted to kind of create some division there between where you enter the apartment. So for this particular build, I was imagining roommates. So this apartment has 2 bedrooms, and I was kind of picturing like young adults who maybe either just finished college or just about to finish up college. So, you know, they're not into like the later stages of life yet, so they're still young, and so they like the city. And so I was thinking about that as I was choosing like what to put in this apartment. So they have a big TV and stereo with a video game system, and then later I pushed that wall back and made enough room for a bar because I thought they've got to have a bar. And the decor is a lot of stuff from City Living, that metal sculpture, as well as that large canvas artwork on the other side. Those are all from City Living. So yeah, I was kind of imagining like probably early 20s, mid 20s age, living in the city, like to have a lot of friends over. I think this kitchen is really nice for entertaining and having dinner parties, because it's nice and big. Here's where I'm working on that entryway, which it's pretty small, but it had enough room for all the regular, you know, mirror, thermostat, umbrellas, all the kind of stuff that I always tend to put by the front door. And then now I've jumped back over to work in the kitchen again. So I'm just pulling out for the kitchen decor. It's kind of eclectic. There's some modern sort of touches mixed with some more kind of homey touches. I was kind of thinking almost boho as I was doing this, and I think that's because the apartment that originally was here is like a super duper boho design. So I was kind of thinking about that in the back of my mind a little bit. So I wanted to pull in some colors and some things that kind of reminded me of that. So like I said, there are 2 bedrooms, and this first bedroom I have designed for a photographer, and I put so many cameras in this bedroom. It was a great way to take up a lot of space for decor, because everywhere I had an empty shelf, I'm like, oh, here's another place for a camera. So, they've got tripods and all kinds of camera gear and lighting gear. So I was imagining that is the career, not just the hobby, but also the career of this sim. And then I wanted to kind of divide their bedroom up a little bit, just because I imagine they kind of work here and sleep here. So I used this giant window as a glass divider to kind of partition off the sleeping area from the desk area. So probably what I imagine with these roommates is when they're working in their bedrooms, and then the main sort of like living room kitchen area is more for entertaining and hanging out and downtime when they're not busy with their jobs. I was trying to figure out how to do this sort of artistic display over the bed. And I struggled with it a little bit because when I first put the artwork up there, it was the leaning artwork, which is also base game. I used these shelves that were super wide, but then when I looked later, I kind of didn't really like these shelves because they have these sort of ornate feet that hang down underneath them that I just didn't like for this style of room. So I'll switch that here in a minute once I realize that I didn't like the shelves that I picked out. And then for the bedside tables, those are also from Base Game. The bed's from City Living, the rug is from City Living, the curtains are from City Living. Yeah, so it's sort of, I would say it has some industrial touches just with the glass partition and the weathered sort of wood that I used behind the bed. And then kind of boho a little bit too with the rug and the pillows and the curtains, but not over the top. I think it's very subtle. Here's where I realized I did not like those shelves, and so I got rid of them and sized those pictures down one more click, and then I had room to kind of do this little decorative shelf over the bed, which I thought turned out kind of cute. And I stuck another camera up there. I just imagine this sim, is laying in bed and catches some gorgeous sight out these windows that overlook the city, and maybe they're always constantly reaching for a camera to take a picture of something. And then over here on this other side of the partition is where I put the desk and also the chest of drawers. When I do desk areas for adults, I always have, I struggle a little bit. I think it's much easier to do desk space for teens and kids because we have a lot of cute like hobby boards and posters and things that we can use. But when I'm doing a desk area for an adult, I try to stick with decor that looks a little more grown up. So they've got some things here that look like maybe, from where they graduated from college, their degree and some awards and things that are just a little bit more grown up, I guess, for over the desk. And then I just added like some plants and books and just tried to make it look like it was being used to kind of work from home. Let's see, that chair and table and desk and bookcase are all from Base Game. And then over here by the door to the room is where I ended up sticking the chest of drawers. I started out with this chest from City Living, but then I didn't really like it with the brown on the front. I didn't think it really matched kind of the cool tones of the bedroom. And so I switched it to this taller chest from Get Famous. I thought it matched the headboard and the nightstands a little bit better. And then I put a little accent table over by the door, just kind of taking up some space. I actually got a lot in this bedroom for it being a fairly small apartment. I feel like the bedrooms are really nice sized and they're kind of like a bedroom and office in one. And that's kind of how I did the second bedroom as well. The only thing I don't really like about this particular glass window is that on one side it's clear and on the other side it's this kind of aqua color. But unfortunately, all of the windows that are on this medium ceiling height have that color on one side. So I didn't really like that color, but what I ended up doing is by putting that color on the flip side of the bedroom, so not the side that's where you first enter, and then I added some curtains there to kind of block it a little bit, to try to not draw as much attention to the fact that it was bright turquoise glass on one side. And here's where I'm adding that camera equipment and tripod and extra cameras and stuff. I just imagine that this photographer sim had just all kinds of different cameras and stuff that they like to use depending on maybe what kind of job. And all of this stuff is from the Myshuno stuff pack, all of that photography stuff. And then over here by the window, I added a comfy chair and a little table, which actually would be a good place to put a TV if you wanted, or a stereo or something, on top of that little table if you wanted this sim to have a TV in their bedroom. And then that little chair and wall hanging are both from City Living, and so is this other piece of artwork. So yeah, like I said before, lots of city living in this apartment. So now we're back on the other side of the apartment, and before I did the second bedroom, I worked here in this laundry room. I wasn't really sure what to do with this space because it doesn't have any windows and I can't add windows. And so I didn't want to make it like an office or something because I just felt like it would be too dark and dreary to sit in a room with no windows. And so I thought a laundry room made sense. And also I kind of stuck some storage in this room too. So I just imagine that they kind of use this as like a junk room, laundry room. It's like kind of the catch-all place for where they put everything that they can't fit in their rooms, I guess. So there's like a bunch of different kinds of storage boxes and filing boxes and just random containers full of odds and ends, mixed with the stuff from laundry day. And so, yeah, kind of a multi-purpose room. And there's a little wash tub in here. And yeah, if you don't want to do laundry, you could pull this stuff out and turn it into like maybe an art room. You could put like some easels in there, or a workout room. You could maybe put a treadmill in there. You could really use it for pretty much any kind of hobby or activity. You just have to remember that it doesn't have any windows. So I don't know how much fun it would be to work out in a room with no windows. Maybe if you put a TV and some mirrors, it wouldn't be too bad. But I just decided to use it as a laundry room. So the cabinets are the same cabinets that I used in the kitchen, and then the tile is from Jungle Adventure, and also the flooring. So yeah, it has a little bit of a rustic sort of vibe in here, which I think kind of goes hand in hand with industrial. And I felt like these industrial base game cabinets looked pretty good with the laundry day furniture mixed together. And then there's just one bathroom in this apartment that they share, and it has a tub and shower combo, and it does have two sinks in case they both want to come in here and brush their teeth at the same time. Yeah, so in here, again, it's kind of a mixture of a few things. The sinks and the toilet are from base game, and I actually swapped out that Parenthood shower for a base game shower here in a minute because I didn't really like the copper plumbing fixtures in here against this sort of silver chrome sinks. The color was not matching and that was bothering me. So yeah, so I switched it out to this other one that had black and white. And I started out with this kind of shiny subway brick for the accent wall, but then I just decided to change it to the same exposed brick that's in the living room right next door, because I don't know, I felt like I was getting too many types of wallpaper with the brick and the tile, the subway tile and the square tile and the brick, and all mixed together. I thought was maybe a little bit of overkill. So I changed it to a brick wall in here, which I thought looked nice. And I think that definitely gives the bathroom a very industrial vibe as well. Especially with these lights, wall sconces that are over the mirrors. And there's a hamper in here since there is laundry in this apartment. And then I just kind of tucked the toilet into this little square that I ended up having when I bumped the living room out for that bar that I added, which you're kind of seeing there on the corner of your screen now. I ended up kind of having a weird shape for the bathroom. And so, but it worked out good in the end. It all fit in there. And yeah, so here I'm just adjusting the lights to get all the light bulbs changed to bright white. And then for the last room of this apartment, it is the second bedroom. And for this young adult, I decided to do, the YouTuber, well, I guess I shouldn't say YouTuber, the video streaming career. So they have the big video streaming table that we got with Get Famous. that I used in here, with also a computer desk for a gaming computer. I imagined that this sim was really into gaming and really into making videos. And so as I was pulling stuff out of the catalog, I was kind of thinking of different kinds of like video game posters and any kind of like techie stuff. I've got a drone in here and like some random like computer parts, and I think there's like a stack of hard drives, a piece of decor that's like a stack of hard drives that I tucked under the desk. So yeah, this is definitely a very computer savvy, tech savvy Sims bedroom. And I was kind of thinking that this sim probably works from home as well, because if they're streaming and doing videos, they probably hardly ever leave their room. Everybody can relate to that. And so I pulled out all of these posters from City Living because I kind of felt like they looked like video game covers. And the way they have autographs, I imagine that this streamer has probably met like all these famous video game creators and producers. And so, yeah, I was letting my imagination kind of run wild as I was pulling all this stuff out of the catalog. And for the decor, it's very modern. This bed and the nightstands are from Base Game, and then that smaller upright dresser is from Tiny Living. I didn't really have room for a full-size dresser because of the streaming table, so that Tiny Living dresser definitely came in handy. And then over here by the window, I added kind of this low-level chair and little ottoman. The chair is from Myshuno Stuff Pack, and then the ottoman is from Tiny Living. And I also gave this sim a guitar. Actually, I gave both of these sims guitars. I don't know why. I just felt like you're young in the city, living in this cool arts quarter. You definitely need to have a guitar, right? Yeah, and there's that drone, and then I gave them a backpack. So yeah, that is gonna do it for this build. So let me know what you guys think. Hopefully you like this one. I'll be back again soon with another speed build, probably a house, I'm guessing will be the next video. So leave me a comment, let me know what you think. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you guys with another video soon. Bye-bye.